Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode. I am Michael Petro, and hello after a 2-week hiatus. In the virtual living room this week, we've got Martin Navarro, we've got Rob Strachan, we've got Jimmy Skinner, and we've got myself. And I am in my new fucking recording studio. Well, it's a room that I'm recording in, so by default, by name alone, I have a recording studio. Because in these last 2 weeks, Sean and I have moved. So that's now complete. We're done painting. I will never, ever, ever move another treadmill as long as I live. What are we talking about on the show this week? Well, it's pretty simple. We're talking about religion. And how are we doing that? We're using the plot and the characters from Bruce Almighty to guide us. You know that religious comedy starring, who's in it? Oh, you know that really deep-voiced guy from Hollywood with the best voice ever, Morgan fucking Freeman. Morgan Freeman playing God, Jim Carrey as some doldrum idiot who's angry at the heavens and screaming, God, why don't I ever get what I want? God's like, well, hey, listen, if you think you can do better and fix this situation on planet Earth, then go ahead. And here's my powers. So we're assuming that plot in our real lives, but we're asking 4 questions in our debate this week. We are asking, what will we do for humanity? What will we do for our family? What will we do for our friends? What will we do for ourselves if we were Jim Carrey and had the powers of God? Not a God, but the God, specifically the God Morgan Freeman. No, whatever. He's a god in his own right. But you get what I'm saying. So that's what you're about to listen to. And if you've listened to us before, this is the perfect time to grab a drink, grab a snack, do whatever you do for your podcast listening pleasure, and just carry on into the metaphorical theater. If this is your first time listening to us, then just give me about another minute and a half. I'll get through this real quick, and then you can party on Wayne and party on Garth. So thereeldebaters.ca is where you can find everything about us if this is your first time. You can see who we are. You can read some of the blogs we posted. You can find out where to subscribe to the show. You can listen to the show on the website. And then you can donate to the show or buy merch from the show. So we've got a merch tab there. We've also got a donation tab there. If you want to throw $2-3 our way, it's pocket change, ladies and gentlemen, but it compounds and goes a long way. So if you want to help us out with production costs, we get to blame you for making this show better. So it's a win-win situation, I feel. As well, if you want a new skateboard deck, cell phone cover, tote bag, possibly some stickers, maybe a patch. How about a hat? Maybe a sweater, t-shirt too. It's all there in the prop shop. Pretty easy, reeldebaters.ca. If you want to email us, it's thereeldebaters@gmail.com. Suggest an idea for a show. Call us out in some of our dumb shit. We're more than happy to talk to you guys. We're really approachable. Like, we're dipshits. We're normal fucks, okay? We're not self-important. And then if you want to follow us on the social media, you can find us at Reel Debaters. That's REEL for all the spelling. We also do a thing here. We like to give credit where credit is due, because if you guys talk about the show, that means more people listen. So we like to thank the top 5 places to our neighbor south of the border in America, and we like to thank the top 5 places in Canada who have been spreading the good word about our show, doing some heavy lifting. We have yet to crack Europe, but dance with who you came with, right? So thank yous go out to San Jose, New Rochelle, Cedar Grove, Southington, and San Diego, south of the border. And then north of the border, first of all, Winnipeg, you kick ass every week. So we love you for that. So Winnipeg is our top 1 Canadian city, followed up by Vancouver, then Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, Kelowna, and Kentville, rounding out the top 5. We love whoever listens to the show here. We really do. We talk about it when you guys aren't listening because you don't know us, so that makes sense. But we really do love it when you guys spread the word and we see all this stuff pop up. So thank you to everybody who listens, but specifically to the people who are writing it in a bathroom stall or tweeting about it or whatever that makes people listen to us. We salute you. Anyways, that's it. That's all. I've been waiting to say it for 2 weeks, and I finally get to. I will cue the reel, and you enjoy the show.
Let's tidy up this tangle of film by putting it on a reel. Here is a motion picture film, 1,000 feet, 16,000 separate photographs.
Welcome, everybody, to the official space section of the chart.
The truth! You can't handle the truth!
Sir, you're out of order. Out of order. I show you out of order.
No, we've been literally talking for 25 minutes.
I know. I got shit I got to do later, so that's why we started earlier.
Now 1:30.
Yeah,
I haven't been on in a month.
No, I that's why I wanted you to warmed up.
I need my fix. I need my fix.
No, you need your chops moving. I get it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another Reel Debaters production. This week in the living room, we have got Rob Strachan. It's been a couple weeks, Rob. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, you excited?
I am.
The
He
fastest.
just it's more than a couple weeks. It's been a month.
Yeah, actually, it's been a month. Yeah. Well, I mean, life takes.
I'm all of my responses for the first 10 minutes of the show are going to be Corbin Dallas style.
That's perfect.
Robin Dallas. Multipass.
So
Multipass.
also in the living room this week, Martin Navarro. Hello, Martin.
I have been here all the time. I have not taken any time off.
It's me and you, buddy. We're driving the ship here.
Yeah.
No,
I don't take any days off.
that's not true. Because Jimmy Skinner's also here too, who's the rudder on the ship. What's up, Jimmy?
All
Jimmy's
right,
a Dutch
before-
rudder?
Listen. Yes.
It's better than a rusty trombone, though.
Look, I've noticed a pattern the last few weeks
Okay.
where I've been saying that I'm going to win and then I end up not winning or coming kind of close but losing anyways. So this week I'm going to say, hey, good luck, everybody. I really hope you win.
And that, everybody, is my favorite intro to the show so far. It took 86 episodes, and we're finally here.
We're all winners if Jimmy's our Dutch rudder.
Yeah,
Let's be
there you
honest.
go. But can we hope for a double Dutch rudder later from a Martin? What do you think?
Those lanky arms, those basketball arms, man, for days.
Yeah, but by definition, it's not a Dutch rudder if he's doing both of you at the same time.
Yeah, that's just.
Where are you guys on the screen? I'm trying to.
That's not. It's not a symbiotic relationship, which is what a Dutch
Is
rudder
it?
is.
It's so if it's me and Martin, it's up and down. Just do straight vertical. There you go. Yeah, all right. I'll lift my crotch up. That's it. Okay.
For those of you listening at home and without any video, Jimmy is trying to Dutch rudder me and Mike at the same time on Zoom.
Technically, it wouldn't be Dutch ruddering. He's just skiing with the two of you.
Ski pulling it.
Yeah, there you go. Oh shit. All right, so that is who is on the show, ladies and gentlemen, this week, and we're gonna start it off like we always started off. And three of us have run the gauntlet. We've done the Zack Schneider dance, and we're gonna have some fun here because we're gonna try not to spoil it for Rob, who hasn't seen it yet, while reviewing it at the same time. That's the challenge. So. Martin, we're going to go with you first because I passed out. It took me 2 nights to do it, and you and Jimmy did it both in one sitting. So I feel that you guys deserve to start this one off because I'm just a loser who passed out. So what's your take on the Schneider Cut so far?
I think Jimmy and I would agree. Very different movie. If that was the movie I saw first back in, 2017 when it was released, I would have been a happy camper. It's crazy how much the editing makes a difference. I'll just say that. Things that I thought were wrong with the original cut, the Whedon cut, were addressed with the Snyder cut. Everything that I didn't like the Flash in it, I loved him in this one. I didn't mind, and I'm you guys know me, I'm not the biggest Ben Affleck fan, but I didn't mind Ben Affleck after seeing the Snyder cut.
But you love reindeer games.
Fucking love it now. I'm a Ben Affleck fan. I'm sold after the Snyder cut. Ben Affleck's my boy.
Ben Fanfleck.
I am the president of the Ben Fanfleck fan club in Vancouver.
Making you that T-shirt.
No, it makes sense. Like, I think one of my biggest criticisms when I think me and you watched it for the first time, Mike, was it just felt like a bunch of scenes tapered together. There was no continuity, no flow. It just felt like everything was forced. This time I'm like, oh shit, everything makes sense. It flows smoothly. I still hate Aquaman though. That dude still litters. The first thing we get introed in, he still drops a bottle in the ocean, just throws it in the ocean, which he cares for. So I still hate Aquaman. I love
Not
Jason
just
Momoa.
bottles. Not just bottles.
his
Martin.
shirt.
He
His
throws
shirt.
so many shirts.
Yeah, his shirt. Like, what? That, like, fish can choke up. There's already enough garbage floating around in the ocean. Like, what the fuck?
But they're 100% organic cottons, so they break down. If it was a 50-50 poly cotton blend, then I'd be pissed.
But what if a fish or whale eats it and chokes on it?
That doesn't go through the bill.
Come on.
Ugh.
It's only turtles that happens to.
Okay. The slowest, most defenseless animal in the sea. That's the only one. Oh, that's
Defenseless. They've got built-in armor like Steppenwolf, mofo.
And some of them are ninja mutants.
That's
Yeah.
4 of them specifically jumped the food chain. Yeah, no, Martin, I agree with everything you've just said. It's when we watched it, we both walked out of the theater and we were like, we were
What the fuck?
what the fuck? We were,
Like, what did I just pay for?
and it just felt truncated and you're right. The biggest thing is there's so much in the editing, and I mean everybody knows that there's very little reshoots done on this. It's just footage that we didn't get in the original version that I don't know what Whedon was I don't know what can anybody here seriously go, what the fuck were they thinking?
I think Warner Bros. Was like, hey, shrink this down into 2 hours. Do it. And that's what Whedon had to do. I don't know if, like, I think Whedon was very limited. I mean, he might have been limited in what he did because the studio was the one who wanted this cut, right? So I mean, maybe he was just limited in what he could do. And I mean, it should have been what I think they should have done with this release, and I think it was ahead of its time, was they should have released it kind of like what Disney is doing with Marvel in terms of shows, like what they're doing with WandaVision, what they're doing with The Mandalorian, right? Do it in parts. That would have been the perfect release for this movie.
Or they could have
and
done they could have done a 3-hour cut probably, and I bet you that extra hour would have added a little bit more context.
To your point, Rob, there was more that they cut. It's almost 4.5. He cut stuff out of this so that it could get down to 4.
And I'll say this: after seeing this, I want more. I want to see more.
Oh,
I want
Yeah.
a continuation of this universe. I wanted a second Justice League movie now. I want that. I want a standalone Batman with Ben Affleck as Batman. Like I want more from this universe. I got to see what happens, and I hope they do.
Jimmy,
See, Martin, I think Ben Affleck was good in this version of Justice League because I think he was playing more of like a side character. You know what I mean? Like even during battles and stuff, he was never really the main focus. Like it's more about the
Not
rest
really
of the team.
a superhero. He's just
Exactly.
the world's
So what can he
greatest
do?
detective.
He's rich.
Jimmy,
Please put your comments
Yeah.
against my comment in the comments.
okay, but to Jimmy's point, the Whedon version makes Batman feel like the hood ornament of the group, where the Zack Snyder version makes Batman the assembler and the guy who's not leading the team into battle, but giving them the resources that they don't have, being Daddy Warbucks, right? Like all of those things.
He's
And
kind of the Captain America of Justice League, because Captain America isn't cosmic level, right? Like the other Avengers.
Yeah, he's
So Batman's he's the unwritten leader / organizer / I got the resources dude.
He's like the strategy. He's the strategy
Yeah.
to the team.
And it was nice to see that because it's hard to believe, like when we saw B versus M or B versus S.
Bat versus man.
I was thinking bowel movement, but whatever. B and M, but B versus S. He was in the bat suit to fight Superman, right? He didn't get into any armor in this because he knows Zach presented Batman as someone who knows his role and his position, where Whedon presented him as somebody who can fix everything and be everything, and that's not believable, as Rob says. Like he's not meta, he's not superhuman, he's super rich, as Martin says.
That's also why
he was like,
that's
I'm
why,
rich. That's
that's
my
why people
contribution.
identify with Batman, right? Because he is an everyday man to a certain degree. Like he's a billionaire and all those kind of things, but he doesn't have superpowers, but he takes his licks and comes back. And I think that's why people love the character.
Yeah.
Totes my goats. As for your editing, we all agree, and Rob, you'll agree too. Like it's when I said beforehand, and I said it's the same movie. It is the same movie in regards to it's going after the same storyline, but with more. Right?
What's that line from The Dictator? It's the same but different.
Yeah, there you go. And
Right? That's exactly what it is.
But the different is completed editing. The difference is not cutting the camera at points where there's now humor, and there's a couple songs that take place that are so Zack Snyder that if you're Watchmen fans, if you're 300 fans, you're gonna see that in there, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's the Snyder cut, right? It's not just the story we're missing, but at the same time, do you guys, Jimmy, we'll start with you. What about characters? Do you give a fuck more about who you saw on screen as per the first one?
Well, I don't know. Do you guys hear all that stuff about like how Joss Whedon's like a piece of shit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Great, perfect. That's gonna help me out here a lot. So
He's a piece of shit.
like Cyborg Ray Fisher, he was not having a great time on set working with Joss Whedon, and you could tell because his character got cut down to fucking nothing in Justice League. Like they gave him absolutely nothing at all. And now you can kind of like it's nice. They gave everybody a nice, thorough background, and maybe it does take 4 hours to do that, but I didn't find myself bored or uninterested at any point. Like it was just nice to learn about these characters again, and it was a really fun way to do it.
To your point, Martin, Rob was like, I fucking hate Ezra Miller as the Flash. And Martin, your response before we started recording was,
I
no,
don't actually hate him.
No, I know you don't. I know you don't. Context. But he's like, no, I don't. And then Martin's like, you're going to love him, though, because there's more Flash, Martin.
That's how I felt about the Flash during the Whedon cut. I didn't like the way they portrayed him. I didn't like his lines and stuff like that. It just felt like it was just very forced, his humor. But then after, you get a bit more on screen time with him, you're like, oh, okay, I get why they did that and why this makes sense now and this makes sense and this is why it's like this, and especially what he does too. It's I don't know. I like Ezra Miller as the Flash now, especially after watching the
is like I felt like in the first Justice League they were trying to make his character kind of like the way they portrayed Peter Parker in the first Avengers movie, where he was like, kind of like the clunky young sidekick. And I feel like the Flash is a little bit older than that, and you can't make him like a 16-year-old kid.
That's what they did, yeah, like an emo
kid.
Teenager. He felt like an emo teenager, but
Yeah,
that's not how. Like it's the intro. I'll just say this: the intro that we get to the Flash, I loved it. That's why I'm like, okay, this is awesome.
I love the Tarantino. You make a great point here, Martin, that I'm piggybacking here. That scene where you meet Ezra Miller for the first time is like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And what he does with camera work and timing and music in that scene is so fucking beautiful. And this movie is packed with these really long, not awkward, but like just moments that you're trapped in that you have to wait for their completion to understand. And that's what Ezra Miller's entrance in this is like. You're like, wow, this is long, but once it finishes, you're like, fuck, that's the Flash. That's cool.
So it sounds like it's almost kind of got like, those are the things I like about Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
The movie as a total was like lacking, but some of those scenes that you're kind of describing where you got to watch the thing to the finale to really get it, that sounds like he kind of pulled from that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited now to see this. Before I was kind of like, I'm going to watch it, but now you guys are pumping it up. So I'm going to find the time in the next couple of days to do this.
Anybody?
Yeah, I don't know how people watch it. Like, so a lot of people I've been hearing have been watching it in parts. Like I've talked to a few people, and they usually stop halfway through because it is like it's a long
movie.
Long time to dedicate, right? But if you don't have the 4 hours, I would say just watch it, maybe in because I think they do it in chapters, right? The movies. So just stop at each chapter and then continue off where if you don't have time.
Martin, you brought up a good point about how, because they were going to release it as 4 1-hour long episodes and do a miniseries originally. And then it just kept growing and growing and growing, and reshoots started to add in more time. So then they were like, no, just make it a 4-hour movie. But I think the accident that came out of that, with the character development that we get with liking the Flash more, liking even like Aquaman gets more, Wonder Woman gets more, Cyborg is the center. Cyborg is he's true north, and everything revolves around him. And it's some really you get fables, Rob, like the fable of how man and Amazonians and
so it all ties it together better.
It's the rug, man. It ties the room to fucking together. Like it just.
But is Ryan Reynolds like in there as the Green Lantern?
No.
Then fuck it. I'm not watching it. Fuck. Like.
I wonder how close it was, Like, how close did they actually get to getting him in the movie?
I bet you his requirement was, though, is that he had to make some snickering comment and reference Deadpool, and they were like, no. Or he's like, I have to mention Aviana Jin.
It really is the conversation that I think we all want to know how it went down. Like, did they call him? Did they bring him in?
For sure they did.
Like,
for sure.
And the
I wonder if he has contracts that he can't do DC now that he's with doing Deadpool. Maybe he's like contracts that you can't do any other character while you're playing Deadpool, like any other superhero character.
But
that's
you know
related
what?
To DC.
But the thing is, though, is that his contract was probably a carryover from Fox originally. So I don't know if that would have that caveat that Disney has put on all the MCU original stuff. I also think that that's a fucking bullshit thing. I think like, you're like, oh, you did a DC one now, so you're fucking blacklisted. You can't do MCU. Fuck that.
Here,
Like,
and
that's like saying you can't be in Lord of the Rings because you were in Star Wars. Like, get out of here.
yeah,
Or Star Trek.
nobody's really like that except Sony with Spider-Man. Like Sony is like they've got their teeth so dug deep into Spider-Man that like Disney
They
has,
don't make money on TVs, bitch. So
no,
they
don't.
need to
You're
hold on
right.
to Spider-Man like so tight or they're fucked.
But like the marriage that like I tweeted and I was just trying to be funny, didn't work. But like I tweeted Green Lantern played by Deadpool as Ryan Reynolds in a cameo as Green Lantern, right? So the fact that DC and in the Justice League they refer to it as Star Labs, right? That's the laboratory in Justice League. Stark Labs is the labs in Marvel. Now, don't tell me that that's not an on purpose idea, right? That's DC and Marvel having fun with each other, comic book writers having fun,
Hawkeye and Arrow.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking. So these things mirror each other.
Quicksilver in the Flash.
Yes,
the Mariner and fucking Aquaman.
that's so. Guess what I'm saying? I'm saying that Zack Schneider paid off big fan service to all three of us here that who like it. Like we got what we finally wanted, right? It was like here's some fan service all over your face, big splashes. So to allow for Ryan Reynolds,
Good tie-in with the Shamrock Shake.
Yeah.
so just to let Ryan Reynolds dress up as Deadpool and then dress up as Green Lantern and be in a DC movie would just be fun. Everybody would be like, nobody's taking themselves too seriously. And that's enjoyable, right? That kind of shit. Because it's all about us. It's not about fucking executives. I mean, great that you've got the creativity and the power to do all this, but we're the ones who watch it. So wouldn't you want to give us what we want? And seeing Ryan Reynolds.
That seems like a trademark lawyer nightmare.
Oh God,
You
it totally
just
would be.
propose there.
Yeah. I'm asking everybody who's ever done anything in the entertainment industry to change their entire business model around for one fucking character. I'm being a selfish
Well,
bitch.
I mean, it would be argued they need to change their business model because it's racist as fuck.
yeah.
But that's another whole conversation in itself.
You said you were going dark later. Anyways, okay. So Rob, you want to watch the Justice League now by our little mini review here?
Oh, I've been wanting to. I was looking at Crave last night and it popped up because we were just looking for something light to watch. I was like, hey, you want to watch a 4-hour movie? And Michelle's like, it's 9:30. No. So instead we decided to finally start watching Money Heist, which is pretty badass.
Okay. What's that about?
The Netflix?
The Netflix one, yeah. It's a Spanish show on Netflix. It's dubbed, but it like the first 2 episodes, I was like, dude, this is good. But I also started watching Dark this week.
Dark's dope. Dark's one of the best things I've seen on Netflix.
The problem is Michelle, like she's like, this jumps way too much. So she was into it and then she wasn't into it. She doesn't like those kind of movies, like shows that jump.
It's a mind fuck. It's a mind
fuck. Like you really got to pay attention. I had to rewatch some episodes because I was like, oh, I missed something here and I had to go back. But yeah, so I'm excited because I'm watching kind of 2 super stellar shows right now.
That's awesome.
And I'm watching The Expanse when she goes to bed because she's not into that show.
Yeah, no, totally. I jumped in the bedroom to watch Justice League and I was like, Shauna, pretend I'm out for the night. Like, there's no way I know you want to watch this, even though like Jason Momoa is on the screen and I all of a sudden become nil and unimportant. But that's fine. I mean, he has hair. I don't. So,
but he's a litter bug.
And muscles.
But he's a litter bug.
Fuck
He's
Martin,
a
I love
litter
it.
bug.
We will never swear on our friendship that we will never have a conversation about Jason Momoa where you forget to talk.
Not Jason Momoa, just Aquaman. I love Jason Momoa. Aquaman is a litter bug.
Okay, I just love how you're big. You want to make sure climate change affects everybody, including superheroes.
Fuck, Al Gore sold me, man. Back in the day, Al Gore got me.
It's an inconvenient truth, but nonetheless a truth. All right, cool. I've been meaning to check out Dark. What's it about, guys? I don't know anything about.
I just watch it. It's about
Time travel.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's
Mind
about
fuck.
It's just about a kid who's like there's a kid who goes missing in a small town in Germany, and the big thing that provides jobs is a nuclear power plant. That's it.
Oh.
And it's just it takes a different twist on time travel. It's very strict with the rules behind it.
Crazy.
And because a lot of people always say, oh, I can travel back in time and that'll affect things in the future. But this is more about everything is predestined. but that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. No, I like that. I like.
And it's done. I think it's only 3 seasons or 2 seasons long. It's done.
Yeah. So I finished the first season 2 days ago, or 2 days ago, and so I'm looking forward to season 2 and 3.
I for another movie, I did Coming to America actually last weekend. That was
The new one or the old one?
Coming to America, the new one. Have
How
you,
was it?
Martin? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's not. It's hard to beat the original one because the original was so good and so funny. But I mean, like it's watchable. That's what I'll say. That it's just watchable.
Jimmy, have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Okay, so
Does
Martin.
Arsenio Hall's face look like wax?
I can't remember the girl he falls in love with in the first one, the Eddie Murphy's character, looks great. Like she's aged really well. Like she looks great in this version.
Eddie Murphy doesn't look 60. Like,
Oh, but he's got a big belly.
Yeah, he's wearing a lot of black clothes.
belly.
A lot
It's-
of black clothes.
Like when he stood sideways at one point, I was like, "Amen to you for not sucking in," because I'm always sucking in, and he was just like, "No, I'm gonna be this wide, and I don't give a fuck."
he
'Cause
needs to
Eddie
go
Murphy-
back. He needs to do a Delirious 2 stand-up series where he tries to fit into the original suit, but his belly kind of hangs out, so he doesn't have it like zipped up all the way properly. That would be amazing.
So I found out after watching a new movie, I always nerd out, be like, "What about this? How'd they do that? What is with this?" Right? And Shauna pointed out something really cool. She said what made me like the movie was taking the original story, and what I say I mean like I was like, okay, this I agree with Martin. It's funny, it's watchable, it uses a lot of the same jokes, but the story is flipped where what happened to Murphy and Hall when they were kids is now happening to a child of Murphy's. I don't want to give away the whole thing, but there's a child involved
I
here.
think it'll be okay if you spoil this plot.
All right, sure, fuck it, because I don't really give a shit. But like he has an illegitimate child with Leslie Jones's character, who's fucking amazing in this. She was great comic relief because she just came in and made everything awkward, and everybody was trying to be regal. But it's Eddie Murphy's illegitimate child who he then has to bring back to his home country and teach him the ways of how he is now that he's older. And then he's reminded about how he was when he was younger and how he wanted to go make his own life and pave his own way. So that was cute in that regard that they still used the story. They just spun it. But otherwise, I mean, the only great parts were seeing the characters. You know, the old, like the barbershop scenes were great.
Was it as bad as Anchorman 2?
No, this is better than Anchorman 2.
Was
All I
it,
gotta say is,
was it as bad as Super Troopers 2?
I like
Oh.
Super Troopers 2.
It was bad.
I thought this was better than Super Troopers 2. And I'll just say this: you get to see Reggie Watson and Sexual Chocolate, best band name. in
Yes,
history.
that's the point.
Sexual Chocolate.
Did they make
Come on.
the royal penis is clean reference joke?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's
That's good home. That's
everything that happens to them when they were younger as princes, then going to America and then finding Eddie's wife and bringing her home. That happens to Eddie's child that he didn't know he had when he brings him back to his country. So there's when they tell him, he's like, "What? You're gonna say? What are you gonna do?" Like he's completely. It's funny because it's the baffling idiot comedy where he's out of his element. And it's very sincere and cute to watch him like learn the ways of his dad and try to bond. That's funny. Those are.
I
Cool.
really wish they'd made a really good sequel and made Golden Child 2 instead of
Oh.
like if you're gonna
Charles
make a
Dance?
sequel of an iconic 80s movie of Eddie Murphy's, Golden Child is the fucking one to do it.
That's such a good movie. I love that movie. Charles Dance is the villain.
Oh yeah.
This
Even though the CGI is so campy.
Oh yeah, it's terrible CGI when he's the demon. I'm like, come
Yeah.
on.
This was supposed to. They were going to do like a Super Bowl thing with Eddie Murphy. They were going to launch the movie, and then that Monday after it went into theaters, pre-COVID, obviously, Eddie Murphy was announcing he was going to go back on the road and do stand-up, and he's been writing jokes for like almost a year, and he's been trying to get a routine going, and that was coming to America. Was that Monday announcement. COVID hits, Amazon buys it, and now we find out that we're patiently waiting Eddie Murphy to come back. So, Rob, you should tweet at him or write him an email and be like, just make sure you come out in the red leather, because that would be fucking epic. Like, everybody, like, that would be one of the coolest things to see is Eddie Murphy back in his red leather.
I like how in one statement you said you should tweet him or write him a letter. Like I'm gonna take out the fucking parchment.
Send it by carrier pigeon.
Quill pen and with like cursive, write him a fucking letter.
Send the raven. Send the raven.
Yeah, by letter I obviously mean email, but yes,
I'm gonna send him a telegraph with fucking Morse code as well.
Send it by horse carrier postman.
Can somebody bring me some wax and a seal, and I'll make sure I put my sigil on it.
Now let me get my signet ring out.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering the debate portion of this show. We're all warmed up from talking about what we watched this week, so we're going to argue each other for the remainder of this episode. If this is your first time, this is where all four of us sit down and come up with an idea, present our premise on it, and pick the winner. So, as always, I will go first.
Damn carbon footprint, Rob. You're talking carbon footprint.
I wrote that shit in cursive. It's a lost art, okay? I'm sorry. I'm a child of the 80s.
So this week's debate, which if I can figure out how to put in the cursive in the writing for this on the website, I'll put in the cursive for you, Rob. Okay, the whole episode will be written in cursive.
I actually don't know how to do cursive anymore. My mom challenged me to try to write all the letters in cursive, and I couldn't remember how to do a Z and a couple other things.
It's not easy. Like I tried
it's not easy, man. I use like some bastard hybrid of printing and cursive.
Yeah.
He's like this.
The J.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know,
it's like a three going down, a diagonal three, right?
When he's like, Billy, can you come up here and write pizza? He's like,
So this idea for this week's debate, this came from Jimmy. Jimmy, you get to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm paraphrasing here, and we all know that I just talked about writing an ancient letter and a scroll, so who knows where this is going to go. But you were like, I'm playing with Bruce Almighty. Bruce Almighty kept kind of rolling around in your head, and it came from the perspective of godlike powers. Am I right?
Oh, well, Michael, I messaged you one day. I was like, well, actually, I think you messaged me first, and you said, hey, Jimmy, do you have any ideas for upcoming debates? And I said, well, what about Bruce Almighty? And then you were like, okay. And then you messaged me a few weeks later, and you were like, have you got any more ideas for that Bruce Almighty thing? And I said, no. And then you said, okay, cool. Well, let me run over it, and I'll get back to you. And then you came up with the rest of this.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly how it went. So I guess I'm on the hook for your entertainment this week. Well done. Well done. I came up with the idea that, like, if you could get some godlike powers that Bruce has, he's granted with powers from the powerful Morgan Freeman, and gives him the ability to be a god. Do it his way. See if he can do it any better. Martin, I'm right about that, right? Jimmy? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the right premise? Okay. So I just thought, let's pull from that. What 4 things would you do? And these are the 4 things I think anybody should take care of first before they start doing anything else. Well, maybe 3, but what do I know? No philosopher. I just asked, what would you do for your family if you could do anything as a god? What would you do for your friends? What would you do for yourself to be as selfish as you want? And what would you do for humanity? Some sort of selfless or big idea that you could fix the problems of humanity with one godlike swoop. So I will start this off. Martin, I swear to you, there's a huge intro song coming for this. We're getting rid of all those dumb sound effects I tried to do. There's going to be a really neat intro song that's being worked on. Ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna want to download it. I'll send it out to you for free. I have no problems with it. It's gonna be fucking huge. Until then, though, I will regale you.
Is it going to be written with keytar? With a keytar?
It can be. I'm talking to 0 musicians right now, so the sky's the limit.
Put a xylophone in it. I always like xylophones.
One xylophone, okay, whatever you want. This is like when you were a kid, and your parents were like, "What do you want for dinner?" You can have whatever you want. We'll have a xylophone. We'll have a keytar. Jimmy, what do you want to make for a musical noise?
One of those. It's like a Kleenex box, and then you attach rubber bands to it.
Perfect. Okay, all 3 of these sounds will be in it.
What's the cool one they wrote the Star Trek theme song?
Oh, what is that called again?
The thing with the fingers and
yeah, I forgot.
Theremin.
Theremin.
Yeah, that's it. Theremin.
Theremin, Kleenex box, keytar,
Oh, sorry, it's Doctor Who. It's Doctor Who, not Star Trek.
Okay.
They also did it for Star Trek, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, actually, I think they did it for both.
Yeah, they did. They did. No, they did it for Star Trek. I promise you, all 4 of those noises will be in there, even if they're just at the end. Nobody's listening, and it's already faded out. But point is, okay, so what would I do? What would I do if I was Bruce Almighty, ladies and gentlemen? What's the first thing I would do? So I looked at family. I wanted to tick the family boxes first, because then I can be as selfish as I want, because I'm an only child. So Shauna, she's a hairstylist. So I would build her the salon of her dreams. It would be styled in Mark Ryden. Do you guys know Mark Ryden? Mark Ryden is the guy who made a painting, and Lady Gaga made a meat dress out of it and went to an award show. That's where her meat dress idea came from. So he's very weird and trippy and almost Alice in Wonderland like. So
Wonderland.
Wonderland.
Isn't that a movie with Paul Rudd?
Yeah, I believe you're right. It's not
Wunderland.
Wonderland.
Wunderland.
Originally a German 1980s film called Wunderland. Remade in North America starring Paul Rudd.
No, so the salon is going to be a combination of Mark Ryden art and Alice in Wonderland themes. So we're going to have the Mad Hatter, we're going to have the Rabbit, Walrus and the Carpenter, Cheshire Cat, basically the whole movie in the salon. Okay, so for example, we could just dress somebody up at the front door to greet you as the Caterpillar and give you some fun tea to drink. These are the kind of things that I would do for Shauna, because she likes loud and colorful and kooky, and it would be her salon. She could run it. She could hire whoever she wanted. She's in the driver's seat of this. For my mom, she's a quilting junkie. So I would make her the Martha Stewart of Canada, essentially. I would bless her with Martha Stewart-like powers, turn her into a YouTube channel sensation, social media icon, basically turn her love of sewing and knitting into an empire and set her up until she chokes and she gets to do what she loves in her twilight years, because, you know, if you love what you do, it's not work. And she's super talented. Like, she's going to be making the curtains for the recording studio so that we get better sound in it. She's made me placemats with Batman logos over the years. She's made me Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles curtains, like whatever I want, she's made. So and she just needs that like 1,000-person staff to like get it out into the world, and then everybody would buy her shit. My stepdad, I'd just make him the owner of the Bacardi Rum Factory. He's a giant zombie fan. Okay, dark rum, light rum, amber rum, whatever fucking rum. What about the rum? Beachside Villa. Red rum. Is that rum too? So, beachside villa right outside the Bacardi Rum Factory in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I know the area. It's beautiful. It's right on the coast. I've actually been to the rum factory, which is where this all came from. So just like make the rum factory his business in his retirement years and have a beach house for him to go and be drunken no matter whenever he wants. For my friends, for you guys, for everybody in my life, I've had this dream forever, and to just be able to, it's the one I have attached to like a big lottery win. But now that I'm a god, now that I'm Bruce Almighty, I could do it just by snapping my fingers. So, Martin, maybe you've heard this one before, but what it is where I approach all of my friends who have a job, and I approach all of their owners or managers, what have you, and I buy them out for a month. I say, listen, I'm going to take them from you, however much it costs to lose that employee, however much downtime it's going to incur. You give me a number, boom, I write you a check. We all meet at the airport. And it's basically, I tell Martin, I tell Jimmy, I tell Rob, but I don't tell any of you that everybody else is coming. We all meet there. I instantly deposit $500,000 into everybody's account. We flip a coin, we book a plane, and we fly around the world and have the best fucking time for a month. You have your own money. You have your own way of partying. We're just all together, okay, doing whatever we want, making the best memories in a 30-day time span and having it forever. It doesn't need to be forever. It just needs to be concentrated and pure and stupid fun. Go ahead.
I like it. I just think I'm not going to make it back alive from this trip. I'm on board, Mike. I'm on board for this trip, but I think this is just buy me a one-way ticket, because I think after that it's going to be.
But he's a god, Martin. So if anything bad happens to you, he can like bring you back.
Ooh, I don't know if I want to come back after that one. You know, Rob.
Like I have we will flip a coin, fly around the world doing whatever we want for a month straight, making memories, enjoying the best trip of our lives. But like all the party favors, all the toys. It is a zero no environment. It is always yes, whatever you want for
But consensual. Consensual.
super consensual. But like, if you go, hey, Mike, you're God for X amount of time. You've given me all this money, but can I have like grocery sandwiches 3 times a day? I'd just be like, poof, done. Like, I would not say no to
I
it.
have medical grade MDMA.
Yes, done.
For breakfast.
Yes, done. Like, seriously, it's about having as much fun and remembering it forever. Now, for
I'm
myself,
in, Mike.
I knew because the short list was Aaron, Steve, me, you. It's been that way forever. Like that's where the idea came from. But like I would just love to be like every group, all of the friends from all different classes and groups and walks of life that I've run into, all in one place in a concentrated area for stupid fun.
Jimmy, would you like some medical grade MDMA?
You know, Martin, I think I would.
It's in stage 3 FDA approval in the United States, so it's coming sooner than you think.
Coming to a
Pharmacy near you.
For my selfish only child syndrome that I have problems dealing with still at 38, I would the last thing I would do, well, it's actually, first of all, it's changed over the years. It's changed from like I want a 12-inch dick to all the money in the world, right? Like, and everything in between. So
Dude, a 12-inch dick, I think you get lightheaded when you get a boner. Do you want that?
no, that's why I'm saying it's changed over time. Once I've put thought into it, I've been like, no, I'm not going to be able to stay afloat. So I would essentially, what do I have here? The easiest way to make me happy would be give me the keys to the Marvel kingdom. I would love to be Kevin Feige's intern and get the keys taken over, because no matter what, Marvel always wins. We've seen that for 20 years, and the gateway that Marvel creates for people that allows you to go after this person and that person. When you're making superheroes, you're painting with a different brush, so you can cast anybody. When you're making a drama, you're like, we want Christian Bale. When you're making a comedy, you want Jim Carrey. But when you're making a superhero movie, Christian Bale's now going to be in a superhero movie. Like that, he's going to be in Thor, right? Like just the possibilities to work for Marvel and to eventually learn what Kevin Feige is so good at is exponential because of my love of film. So to have like a really great career with Marvel or Disney in the executive creative department, instantly, that's what I would take care of. Humanity, thought about this one for a minute, and it comes from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Do you guys remember in the end of the movie when they get the gun and when you shoot somebody with it, it immediately gives that person your perspective?
Oh,
Perspective gun.
it's like the empathy gun or something.
Yeah, it's a gun that as soon as I shoot you, you understand what I'm thinking. It essentially empathy, right? Putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. I would make that standard issue in every home. All right. And I would make it like a break it when you need it case. So like if you're having an argument, if there's a debate, if there's a really hot topic going on, I just want to be able to have empathy so we understand where we're coming from, because current day situations, we're pretty far out on some issues. And it would be nice just to get over the bullshit and the teams and the siding mentality for a minute and be like, it doesn't matter what side you're on. Let's just try to understand where we're coming from. Are we coming from a place of fear? Are we coming from a place of love? Are we coming from a place of anger? What have you? Let's just try to understand each other. So you're having some fucking giant political argument with family at the table around Thanksgiving. You just break the gun when you need it and shoot uncle and be like, listen, this is where I'm trying to come from. Or shoot cousin and be like, you're not understanding me. So empathy is what I would want to give humanity. And that, gentlemen, is my debate.
Thank you for including me in the month-long MDMA bender, Mike. I appreciate it.
I didn't know we were going to do all 4 at once. That was pretty intense. I liked it.
Mark,
are we allowed to comment now?
yes, floor's open. Okay, go first.
I have one thing to say. Is your mom, when she gets the Martha Stewart-like powers, is she also an expert in tax evasion?
That's what I was going to say too.
I mean,
Wow, like you're literally giving your mom the ability to be an expert in white-collar crime. That's cool.
I mean, it came.
She might go to jail, Mike. She might go to jail.
I think my mom could probably knit her way to staying alive. She would just knit out like slippers and scarves and stuff for all of them.
I think that's a very, clean cut version of what prison's like.
No, I don't think so either. I think that's what I've either wanted.
She's going to knit literally. First off, I don't think you're allowed to have knitting needles in prison because I think they're considered a weapon. You're literally like giving somebody a pre-made shank.
This is true. Okay, so white collar crime. I mean, if I want her to be Martha Stewart, obviously I got to take the good with the bad. So
She also makes it also means that she becomes best friends with
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop
Yeah,
Dogg?
yeah. I didn't think about the long game of this. Yeah, she goes to jail, comes out.
Who's the
every-
Canadian equivalent of Snoop Dogg? Like,
Something with the Trailer Park Boys.
yeah.
Ricky, maybe?
It's definitely not Drake. Drake's too clean cut for that shit.
No, Ricky for sure.
Ricky. I agree with Ricky. If there's a Canadian version of Snoop Dogg, it's Ricky. Anything else, Rob, besides tax evasion?
No, that's it. That's all.
Okay. All right. Martin, you want to go next?
Love the trip. I can't wait to go on it if you do become God one day. My one I think thing against your argument was I wanted to hear that when you give the Bacardi factory to your stepdad, that you would also give the employees fair wages.
Oh. Sorry. Yes, that's yeah.
But it's done. It's done. You didn't have it in your argument, so I can't count that as towards
Also-
the vote. But that's what I wanted to hear.
You know what? Also to Martin's point too, and I just got to interject really quickly. Like, how is like in your stepdad's retirement, he gets, hey, guess what? You get to run a Fortune 500 company. That sounds relaxing.
They're family owned still. I checked. They're not. They don't have a fiduciary
They're a
responsibility.
fucking massive company, though. Your dad wants to run the day-to-day corporate operations of a basically borderline wage slave fucking machine.
I would have just given him a gold card to Bacardi, all free Bacardi all the time. You know what I mean? Like, you know how they get one of those free subway cars, but for Bacardi, he could go to the factory whenever he wants. They pay for him to go out there, and if he goes to the LC, he's like, I got a Bacardi card. Just take whatever he wants.
Or you
Bacardi
just make
product.
him the majority share owner, but somebody else just fucking runs the shit.
Hey, Puerto Rico, if you're listening, I would give you fair wages. Just I didn't think of it for my debate, but now that I have
You should also snap your fingers and give them all electricity back pre-hurricane.
Yeah, you know what? I'll make it so that nobody ever threw paper towel at you because that was just downright insulting.
Right.
Okay, all right. Tax evasion and fair wages, fair enough. Jimmy, what do you got?
Well, Michael, as lovely as this all was, I just think maybe it's a little bit strange that you're God and you decided to make yourself an intern.
I was thinking the same thing. Thank you for saying that.
Me too. I was like, why can't you just be Kevin Page? You know?
Or just have all of his knowledge and creativity.
Yeah. No.
It feels like you have a lot of high hopes, but that you just know that you can't get to it. You're like, well, maybe I could be his intern someday, and it just made me feel sad for God.
Like you're a demigod, not a god.
Yeah, no, I clearly didn't. You know what? I did think though. I was like, yeah, I'll just take him out, but I'm like, that's too dark. Like, I'm gonna try to be well,
It's
because
fucking awesome.
I know.
God.
I'm God.
God's done worse things.
That's true. That's true. There's a book about all the things he's done. I've read it a couple times. In fact,
A couple books. There's a few books.
Yeah, there's a few books, and I suffer from Catholic guilt. So you know it. That's why I think I went down the intern road, Jimmy. I felt bad abusing my powers.
No, I get it. And all those books are single spaced, so it's tough.
So many chapters.
Okay, so we got tax
They're
evasion.
books within books. You know that? The Bible is just a book within a book within a book within a book. There's like
Meta.
50 books,
Meta.
100 books.
You know what I want to see? I want to see the Snyder cut of the Bible.
It's called the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Okay, so to recap, we've got fair wages, which there's no argument against. Yes, of course, my stepfather would obviously make a couple changes, but it's not in my debate, so I don't get to call. Tax evasion, yeah, I got to live with the fact that I'm gonna have to visit my mom through a glass window for a couple of years. But hey, I mean, long game. Rob did say that she came out and made it back, so there's redemption for it, and I guess, and then not abusive enough with my powers and just making myself an intern as opposed to Kevin Feige.
Well, I don't feel like it's abusive. I just feel like you're not going balls to the wall with the fact that you're omnipotent and omniscient. Like, fucking utilize that shit.
Yeah, no, I know you're right, but I said Catholic guilt. It's a powerful fucking tool. All right, I agree. like
I
it.
feel like you just feel like you can't be Galactus.
You don't want to snap. Thanos snap the world either.
Because if you remember Marvel trading cards, Galactus is 7 in power and 7 in intelligence. So therefore he's omnipotent and omniscient. Which
I remember those.
begs the argument of how does the Fantastic Four even stand a fucking chance?
Yeah,
Because they have a big orange rock guy.
I was gonna say the power of love.
it's definitely not good storytelling, whoever made the last one. But that's besides the point. We didn't figure out who was going to go first, last, or next. Jimmy? Yeah, Jimmy. I think you.
You know, I'll gladly go next, Michael, because as I said, I just want you guys to. I want you guys to have a good debate, and I want you guys to win. I wish all of you could win. I wish I could vote for every single one of you.
I want you to lose.
Good. You know what? I deserve it. I've been talking a lot of trash and not really backing it up. So I'm probably gonna lose this one. Let's see what happens.
I appreciate your humility.
Can I
You
ask
know,
you a
I'm
question
probably-
before you start,
No, it's
Jimmy?
fake.
Jimmy,
Absolutely,
before you
Martin.
start, I ask you a question. Did you ever watch Bruce Almighty? Please say no.
Unfortunately, this week I have seen the movie.
That's gonna influence
Um,
my vote. That's gonna influence my vote, Jimmy.
I know, and you know what, Martin? I don't have any notes. If that helps.
Wow, off the cuff. That's impressive.
So what I decided, it's it's been brewing and stewing. I see dead people at work all the time, so I have to find other ways to fill my mind.
That's true.
So now instead of being the new God, I've decided that I'm going to be the new Satan, and as the new Satan, you guys, I've decided I will not be answering any prayers at all. Nobody gets a prayer answered. It doesn't matter how much you believe. You can believe very little, you can believe a lot. Nobody's getting their prayers answered. I think you should just believe in me, new Satan, based off of hope that there is a hell.
I like it.
Okay.
Now, if you notice, that covers pretty much everything. That covers what I'm going to do for humanity, because people will eventually stop believing in me, is what my hope is. Because once you stop believing is when the devil starts to, what's that? Wait, what's the thing from Usual Suspects? He's
The
around,
greatest trick
but
the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he did not exist.
exactly. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to convince you I don't exist, and then I'm going to do really small, terrible things to people I don't like. Like, I'll hide the remote in a place that they won't ever find it again. So they have to go buy a new one. Or I'll like tie their shoes together, or all of their socks will come out of the dryer inside out. Things like that. So that, as for me, I think I'll just be like a wandering
Prankster?
I guess just like a wandering Satan prankster type thing. Like I don't imagine I'll need to eat food anymore. I'll just eat food because I like to taste flavors. I could finally enjoy food. I could go to the beach and just enjoy the smells. I don't have to think about anything else. And it really sounds like the least stressful
Wait,
thing
who goes to
ever.
the beach to enjoy the smells?
Why is
Have
that
you ever-
number one? That's the first thing that came to your mind.
Why don't you want to go to the beach to smell? Have you ever smelled the beach? It's
I
lovely.
live right by it. I don't go to smell.
It depends
You
on
know
the
what,
beach.
Martin?
Like there might be an open sewer nearby, and that might not be ideal.
You know why Martin doesn't he doesn't appreciate it. That's why. And I feel like if I was the new Satan, maybe I could make Martin appreciate life by torturing him slowly.
Like, and I love, because in no way, shape, or form did I say that it had to be a good thing or a bad thing you were going to do for humanity, family, and friends.
I don't
You just had
look. I'm not doing anything that the current God isn't already doing.
Oh, okay, all right.
Think about that.
Except
Except
maybe
I'm real.
appreciating smells at the beach. I don't think anyone's really doing that except you.
I'd just like to ask Martin and Rob here: has anybody ever gone to the beach with all their shit, put it all down, got it all ready, and been like, before we do anything, I need to
Let me take a big smell.
have we ever done? I've never done that personally.
And that's because you guys don't appreciate life, and that's why all your socks are going to come out inside out from the dryer.
I mean, it's annoying enough to not. It's annoying enough to appreciate your point. So go on.
Anytime you drop a piece of toast, it's gonna land butter side down or jam side down, peanut butter side down.
What if your floor was made out of Captain Crunch? Wouldn't that be advantageous?
You know what? You know what, Rob? To counter that, that'd probably cut up your feet pretty bad.
That'd be a bad floor to stand on.
I'm just gonna wear my socks inside out. It won't matter.
Jimmy?
You know what? I think Rob gets it. I think he's finally starting to appreciate life.
Check that box.
And for that reason, you guys, is why I think you should vote for me, the new Satan.
That's your whole argument.
Yes.
Oh, that was
Well, the good thing is you saved us time from the whole thing.
I covered all the bases. Look, humanity's covered, my friends are covered, all from me not doing anything.
I mean, it is the smart play of like, how do I do one thing that covers all 4 boxes? I definitely commend you for that. Although at the same
Work
time,
smart, not hard.
yeah, no, I just
That's Satan's motto.
you've
I thought it was put pineapples in butts.
South Park Satan.
if none of these things already didn't happen to me, like I lose the remote all the time, I always drop the toast butter side down, and what was the third one?
Socks in the dryer.
Like this already happens to me, so accidentally, by no fault of your own.
That's
This is
because
what
I already exist, Michael. I'm in your mind.
He's mind fucking you right now.
It sounds so much scarier with his mic in his helicopter headphones.
Oh, I hope you're wearing a condom because it's dirty. It's dirty.
I got a dirty mind.
No, I if you're there, fuck off. But my point is those things already happen to me on a weekly basis, and I'm not voting for you because I fucking hate them. It's not that you didn't know that. It's just I'm like, how can I vote for something that I'm always going through 4 pieces of bread? Put it that way.
You know, Michael, I just don't think there's a way I can get you to appreciate life then.
Michael, I also think you're jumping the gun by saying you're not willing to vote for Jimmy because you've yet to hear my argument and or Martin's argument, which might actually be worse than Jimmy's. They're not gonna be. But I just thought I would say that.
I'm going to go in defense of Jimmy here. Jimmy, props to you for taking it a different approach. I think we all tried to do something good while you tried to do something bad. So props on that.
I think
gonna
we
give
can
you
all
props on
agree
that.
it's neither good nor bad. It just is.
Okay, yeah,
Just
Mark.
want to thank you,
If
Mark.
somehow Jimmy wins, I want partial credit because I gave him that usual suspects quote.
I'm also
I appreciate it.
now that Martin has made that point, I too agree with Martin that the going dark is ballsy for sure, because this is the that's the route less traveled. So okay, all right, I'm back to 0.
God's doing dark stuff already. We're not doing anything he's not doing.
Is going evil the road less traveled? This seems like there's a lot more billionaires right now, and you got to be evil as fuck to be like worth that much.
Like when Bernie Sanders calls Bezos and he's like, "Hey, let's talk about $15 an hour," and Bezos is like, "Bernie who?" Like, you're right, Mark. Rob, you have a very good point about that.
Now, that being said, make sure that you order lots of extra things on Amazon and then return them to bankrupt Amazon.
Our sponsor this week is Amazon.ca. Who's next? Rob, you got anything you want to?
Oh, I got notes.
Oh, we're still on Jimmy here. So, what do you think of Satan? Before you go on.
I already.
Oh, okay, you're good.
Said it.
I think we're good.
Now, just a quick question though. Like, are you like the way you look? Are you Satan in the classic sense, like from the movie Legend, where you're just like giant horns and you could hardly fit through a fucking doorway and shit?
Tim Curry Satan.
Yeah, with hooves and shit.
Current height, just bright red. Horns, tail. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're like a mixture between between that and like what is it, Pacino Satan? Is it Pacino Satan from
Yeah,
But
Devil's Advocate?
Yeah.
But see, I'm bright red not because I'm Satan. I'm bright red because of all the time I spend at the beach.
Jimmy doesn't use sunblock. Satan doesn't give a fuck
Satan
about
doesn't need
sunblock.
sunblock. It makes me a nice, healthy red.
He just really loves them smells. He's out there for 12 hours.
He's like
Breathe it in.
UVC rays. Yes.
Breathe it in.
Breathe it in, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Thank you, sir, very much. Who would like to go next? Rob, you want? Yeah, Rob, you go next.
You want me to go
Rob's
next?
hyped. Rob's hyped.
Okay.
Martin's going to be our closer. He's going to be our.
So I just want to caveat that some of these comments I'm making are for the sake of the argument. And they may or may not be my actual legitimate belief structure.
Did you say legitimate?
Legitimate.
I thought you were gonna combine religion and legitimate at the same time.
I
Combine
might
legitimate.
make a poke at religion in my comments, though. Okay. All right. So let's start. So first off, family. Now, Mike, you didn't think big enough, bro. Like, come on. Okay. Like you were thinking like I won $200 million. What am I gonna do for my family? Fuck that shit. This isn't the lottery. This is you getting omniscient powers. So first off, all my loved ones, I'm going to give them optimal health and well-being based on their age. So my dad is 73. He's going to be the fittest, most healthy 73-year-old man out there, right? My daughter, I want to make sure that she is never instilled with a serious illness. She'll still get bumps and bangs and maybe like the flu or the cold, but it will never be serious. Just enough to build, that proper personality, so she doesn't feel invulnerable, but never has to worry about those types of things, right? And I want everyone to be financially, comfortable, right? I'm not talking yacht rich. That's nice, but just comfortable. So there's just no worries. You know what I mean? They always have enough to eat and those types of things. They don't need to own like a Bacardi rum factory or those types of things.
For example.
Or they don't need to be,
Fired.
Satan's little helper. They just got to be comfortable, right? Just comfortable, right? That's what I'm going to do for my family.
Was Satan's little helper Jimmy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I heard Santa's little helper. I'm like, Simpsons.
No, it's Satan's little fucking helper, man. All right. Now let's talk about, what we're going to do for humanity. Okay. So first off, pedos, they don't fucking exist. That needs to be said. If you're going to do some good shit, pedos, they's gone. They're gone. All right. Now we're going to chill to the other stuff. Okay. We need to get rid of crony, laissez-faire capitalism and replace it with some badass fucking system that still allows me, to have hookers and blow, right?
Communism.
But it's fair, right?
Communism.
But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, communism totally works. Totally works. So we're getting rid of fractional reserve banking. We're getting rid of these fucked up derivatives. All these genius people that go into finance just to accrue more wealth. We're actually putting them into useful things like engineering and redesigning shit for the human race. And it's like a resource-based economy, and we're all working together, and it's kumbaya, but there's still a little bit of competition, so it's healthy, and all that kind of good stuff. Authoritarianism, that shit's out. We're dismantling all these evil fucking things, and just trying to make it a better world. It's probably going to fail miserably, but nonetheless, that's going to be my attempt. And did I mention I'm getting rid of pedos? No more pedos. Okay. Also, I kind of don't. Organized religion needs to go away, and everyone needs to embrace a higher level of spiritualism. That's just my 2 cents, and that's what I would invoke. Now, if that means there's less belief in me as the God, I'm okay with that, because it's not these crazy authoritarian constructs that I'm not a huge fan of. That's what I'm going to do for the world. Okay, that's my humanity pitch. I know it was deep, and I went there, and I wasn't funny. I tried to be, but it wasn't. But I don't care. This is shit that needs to happen. Now, before I eliminate capitalism, though, for my friends, We are going to go on a month-long jaunt to some like crazy island where it's like hedonistic, every drug under the sun, crazy ass motherfucking fun. But I will take away all the residual addictive effects of set craziness and hangovers.
So you're making a paradise. You're making an
See?
absolute paradise.
We're doing the fucking I won the crazy lottery, but then I'm twisting it with I'm omnipotent and gonna do some other shit that's like fucking okay. Now, the last one. What am I doing for myself? I'm giving myself motherfucking superpowers, bro. Superpowers. I'm gonna be super strong. I'm gonna be able to fly. I'm gonna be able to fly through fucking space so I don't need oxygen. And I'm gonna be able to time travel. I'm gonna go back to the Big Bang and see how all that shit happened, and then do fast forward jumps throughout and see like the creation of the fucking universe live in person, right? Not some animation on a computer screen. It's gonna be so fucking cool. And then I'm going to be able to jump back in time and actually see lost civilizations that we don't know about. I'm also going to be able to go into the Vatican vault and get all those fucking secrets and know what the fuck those guys are hiding, because I need to know that shit. What were you going to say, Jimmy?
I'll you know what? I'll save it for after.
Okay. Because I need to know those Catholic Church secrets, man. There's like tons of deep shit. I need to see, like as you said, I need the Snyder cut of the Bible. I need to know it all. I need to know all that stuff, right? But the argument would be, if I'm God, wouldn't I know all that stuff anyway? So, right? So, do you have to go do it, or does it just poof in your head and you're just like, whoa, it's kind of crazy? But that's something they never addressed in Bruce Almighty.
No, they just gave them the powers of. They never were like, yeah, and you can. It was just you can, but we're not going to give you that.
And I mean, the other argument too is I'm saying I'm giving myself superpowers, but I'm already God, so wouldn't I already have those superpowers, right? But I mean,
Yeah, chicken egg
maybe
argument.
I'm only getting this godlike time for a certain amount, so I'm basically bestowing this on myself after I lose the godlike power, so I'm still godlike.
Yeah, that's interesting, because that's how I interpret it too. Because if it was like Bruce Almighty, you're not God forever. You are basically you're given it for like a week, right? I think in the movie he has it for a week.
Intern.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's how I interpret it. So Rob's kind of giving himself long term, like omnipotent.
Like long-term fucking awesomeness.
Yeah.
But I don't want like eternal life, because I don't want to stay the same age while everyone around me gets old and dies. That's kind of fucked up.
I'll go first.
Okay.
No, please let me.
Oh, yeah. Okay, for sure. I didn't want to. Go.
All right. So, Rob, one thing. How you going to go to the Vatican when you got rid of all the pedos?
Shit.
Wouldn't the building still be there?
Would never exist.
I never said in all of history. I just said starting at that point.
I guess, but aren't the pedos writing it all?
But this is stuff that was written, past tense.
Pedos have been around for a pretty long time.
Good point. True. Okay.
That's all I got.
Up and down with the pedos. Got it. The only thing that
I'm gonna stay away from that one.
I honestly just meant up with one comment, down with one comment, but I can definitely see how that can be pulled in a lot of different ways.
That can also be pulled in a lot of different ways.
Let's keep digging. I love. Okay, so what are the effects of this magic system that all of a sudden replaces capitalism, or a better version of it? Are there any after effects? Is there any cooling of the markets? Is there any residual effect? How are
the markets don't exist, bro? They're not needed.
Okay, all right.
It's resource based, man. We're gonna have like fucking replicators everywhere. You need some food, there you go.
Fair enough. No, that's not really my point. My point.
So it'd be like a federation society.
It possibly. I mean, if you've ever seen the movie Zeitgeist 3, they talk about something called the resource-based economy. And so it's kind of moving to something kind of like that. But I mean, obviously, it's never going to be perfect. It's always an evolution. But if anything, maybe capitalism can exist, but with the proper checks and balances that need to be put in place to let unfettered greed not grow to what it is and erase this propaganda that, oh, well, one day I might be a billionaire, so we better not tax these billionaires. Fuck that. Tax those motherfuckers so we can pay for all the other shit.
Yeah. No, I like it. I just I think about the after effect, the shock through the system where a change like that, yeah, it's totally great. Like there's nothing wrong with the change. It's just
But the great thing is, if you do the change and shit goes awry, you can switch it back because you're God.
I'm out of my depth here, Donnie. I don't know much about so I'm just gonna switch my other one. My other one was just okay. So family got ultimate health. Everybody feels great. Isn't like I'm not saying like
For their age.
yeah.
Optimal health for their age.
Okay, then my point is null and mute because I was like, are you just gonna make your dad live to 200?
No, not at all. Not.
You're gonna be like,
I mean, because he's optimal health at 73, maybe he lives to 120.
okay,
Right?
all right.
But he has optimal health for that age up to that point.
Perfect. No,
You know, he could still get hit by a bus.
Totally. Absolutely.
okay, so it's about.
There's always fucking chance, my friends.
I'm just clarifying physical health versus like,
He
boom.
could be eating a donut and choke. That shit happens.
Not at his health.
Hey man,
Well, no, because when you see those Bismarcks, you're just those Boston creams, you're just like, oh, gotta get them in there.
those are my 2 points. Was just confirming.
It's like when you go to the Tim Hortons drive-through now with the video screens and you order the thing and it goes, would you like to add a Boston cream? Would I ever like to add a Boston cream?
Martin, what are your thoughts, dude?
I like that Rob was picked to go third because so far, in terms of arguments, we have Mike, who kind of went somewhere in the middle, didn't really abuse his power, as you'd say. Jimmy, who kind of did nothing with his power, but it made it seem like, what I mean? He did very minimal to seem like he did stuff. He didn't really interfere. He just did small things to kind of fuck with people. And then Rob, you were the one who went above and beyond. So I like that we have like these three structures of different types of arguments of how people would use their thing. The only thing that I wanted to see from yours, Rob, was I wanted to know more about your superhero, your superpowers. I wanted to know if you're going to be wearing a costume. Are you going to be fighting crime with it? What are you going to be doing with it? Because you have the superpower now, right? And that wasn't included in your argument, which is that's what I'm like, okay, he's got superpowers. What are you going to do with it now? Because he doesn't have the godlike powers forever. What's his plan? That's the only thing I wanted to.
I was something I thought about, and I'm glad you brought it up. I just didn't want to run too long. The other thing is that in the dismantling of this capitalist system, the need for superheroes may no longer be there.
You know what? But there'll always be cats stuck in trees, so maybe.
Or astronauts flying into the fucking atmosphere.
Accidents still happen. You might still need to fly and lift the spacecraft, right? You never know.
True. But after our 30-day binge party, I'll be more like Hancock than I would be like a legitimate superhero.
Might have to rescue his dad from choking on a Boston cream.
True.
Oh,
That's a win-win.
That's yes. I like that though, Marty. Like, yeah, like superpower, well and good, but like, what can you do? Or are you just giving yourself the title? And then, what's
See, if you let pedos stay, you could change your name to the pedo puncher, and you beat them all up.
No, I'm strong on the no pedos. Also, I just want to put a quick disclaimer in for our American listeners. If you're not sure what Tim Hortons is, it's like Dunkin' Donuts, but
Donkeys.
but a little bit better, I think. But still, McDonald's in Canada has better coffee than Tim's. It's weird. So
I think Donkeys has a better app, though, dude.
what is?
I think Donkeys has a better app.
They have a better app.
Yeah, than Tim Hortons.
It's all about the app with Martin. It's food, quality of the food, location. Is the app on point?
We live in an app age. Apps are the thing now. It's part of our lives, and if you have a good app, that's a good selling point.
if you
World.
Is that going to be one of your godlike changes?
The best apps ever. No, I wish.
all right, Marty, take us across the finish line here, dude.
Okay, so the way I approached this, I approached it kind of like Rob, where I don't, in the sense that I only have the power for like a limited amount of time. So that's how I thought of it, and I broke it down to really I didn't do a bunch of different things for each category. I thought about everybody. I thought of one thing that I could do that incorporates everybody in my life and chose that. And I want to start. This is how I kind of went with my argument when it's a quote from Futurama in terms of God. When you
Great.
do things right, people won't be sure you did anything at all. And that's how I kind of approached how I argued today's debate. So I'll start with family. So family, I mean, COVID really taught me what was important, especially moving here to BC. I don't have any family here. So, I think the most important thing, what I miss most about moving here is family and friends, like all you guys in Winnipeg and stuff like that. And, you know, my family is pretty spread out across the world. Like we have people in North America, we have people in Asia and in Europe. So it's really hard to get a reunion going. And we don't see each other as often as I'd like. But was supposed to go to the Philippines this year as well. My grandma's turning 90, but that was canceled because of COVID. So that was pretty rough. Um, so what I want to do is I want to make it so that one of my family members who's an engineer invents a teleporter device, and each of my family members in the household would have one, just so when travel restrictions ease up, you know, we could see each other whenever we want. I think that would be fun. And I think the getting rid of being on a plane for 26 hours, that's the one thing I hate about going to the Philippines the most. I hate being in that confined space, and just getting rid of that, I think would make it easier just to visit. And my grandma's 90, right? She can't really travel anymore. So her being able to just walk through a teleporter and come see us would be dope. Um, so I
Really
guess
dope to
for my
watch your grandma
family,
walk
yeah,
through the teleporter.
exactly.
Teleport your
Anything,
grandmother.
yeah, yeah, anything just to make seeing my family or seeing all our family members easier, I think would be the best thing, especially since we're so spread out. Like Filipinos have a really big thing of moving to different countries, leaving the Philippines and trying to strike it in different parts of the world. So, like I said, we got lots of family in different cities in North America, not just Canada, but also in the United States, um, Europe, and also different parts of Asia. So that's what I would do for my family. That's the one thing I would do. And for my friends, I would make it so that I won a contest, and every year um, I get to invite all my friends and family to a yearly all expenses weekend trip to Disneyland. Um, a lot of my friends are big kids. I'm a big kid as well, and some of those big kids have families of their own. And I think Disneyland's a great place where people of all ages can enjoy. Um, so not just like the adults, but the kids can enjoy it as well. There's lots of different things to see. And at the end of the trip on Sunday evening, we would have all the adults going to dinner at Club 33, which is the members only club at Disneyland.
Yeah,
If
buddy.
you're not familiar with this, it's basically hidden in the park. It's got a members only dining room and a jazz club. Membership is so hard to get into this place. There's like a 14-year wait list. Um, so I think that would be our last kind of hurrah before we all have to go back to our lives, and that'll cap off our weekend. And it would be a yearly thing, so we'd all get to see each other, whoever can make it. It's an all expenses paid trip, free trip to Disneyland, basically. For humankind, what I would do is I would stop the invention of the pet birthday party and gender reveal parties. Those are terrible.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm going to tackle pet birthday parties first. Not very sanitary. I've been to a couple. Everyone invites their pets. There's dog or cat hair and everywhere. And they serve food at these parties. They serve food, and it's just so not. It's not sanitary. It's so gross, and the smell is. I've never been on a porn set, but I would imagine it'd be worse than a porn set. It's like you're in a kennel.
With less lube.
Yeah, oh, it was so bad. And I gotta buy a birthday present for this fucking like. If you want to celebrate your pet's birthday, by all means. I've had a pet. I always celebrated my pet's birthday, alone. I get her like a nice, a steak or something that she can eat every year. That's cool. But don't invite other people, and don't let other people bring their pets to it. It's just so gross. Ugh.
That's how the COVID happens.
Yeah. Ugh. And I'd also get
for that.
yeah, I'd also get rid of gender reveal parties, because fuck that. I gotta buy a second gift for your kid. Like, I'm already getting a gift for the baby shower. Now I gotta get another what do you call it? A unisex gift for the gender reveal party as well. And I gotta go. I just stop. Just what happened to just putting it on your fridge and calling everybody, it's gonna be a boy or a girl, like that. Just people need too much attention, and just stop. If
You
I could
should,
just stop that from happening, I think humankind would be better off.
you should add large first birthdays as well for children. like really
Yeah.
big ones.
It's more for the parents than it is for the kids at that point, I believe. It's just them trying to, I don't know. I don't like that, yeah, those two things, just get rid of it. And lastly, for myself, uh,
So that was it for humanity. That's it.
yeah, that's it for humanity. Just two things. Just two things. Like I said, you want to make it so that you don't think you did anything at all.
No,
I don't want to go too big. I don't want to abuse my power. That's it. Just two things. I think that would make humanity a little bit better. I'm not trying to, like Mike said, I'm not trying to change the world. I just want to make it a little bit more livable. And I think getting rid of those two things would make it a little better for everybody.
I love how they affect you so.
It's so fucking annoying. Are you guys not annoyed when you see that? Like, and people get, I'm like, I'm gonna go to a gender reveal party or a pet birthday party. Fuck that. Ugh.
I
Can't say no. I can't say no. I have a problem saying no to people. Like, it's just I'm just so nice, but I have to go, and I'm just like, I am literally digging my nails into my palms the entire time, just trying to hold it together when I'm at these things. And lastly for myself, I did a lot already so far. I thought that, do I really need anything else? So just to quote from the line of Boondock Saints, I'll just have a Coke. That's what I'll do for myself. But I want to say, if I did have to choose something, and if you guys argued that I couldn't choose that, the one thing that I would choose is I would make it so that I had an audition and I would get a small recurring role in the new Lord of the Rings series. I'd like to be a hobbit. I'd like to be the first Asian cast in Lord of the Rings ever. My character name would be Clinton, and he's a hobbit from the far, far eastern woods, aka Clint Eastwood for short. That's my argument.
Wow.
Going first.
I don't mind going first again.
Yeah.
All right, Martin. First, love how you started the argument with the sympathy card. I think that was a great way to go. Made us all feel very bad for you. It worked. Good job. But secondly, I love that you gave your family these teleporters, but kept the COVID restrictions and COVID-19.
It'll just be easier to travel.
People would notice if you got rid of that too quickly.
I'd say that the traveling will be done after the restrictions have
Oh yeah, but you're a god.
Yeah, well, didn't want to do too much.
That's the way to win any argument here. Yeah, but you're God. Like it works for and against. Well,
Otherwise, though, solid argument, Martin. Good job.
Cheers, thanks, Jimmy.
I'll take second seat here. I loved tossing Grandma into the teleporter. I really did. That's a good image.
She can't travel, Mike.
I know. But like, I'm imagining how cute it would be where she's like in her walker, right, or some sort of mobile device, and it's like walking towards this giant wormhole, like that.
Like a Stargate device is what I'm thinking.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Chevron 6 encoded.
Right, and then some like big head walks through the other side. You're like, oh, wrong portal, right? Like, it just the only thing. My only concern is accident gateway transfer, where you think you're sending Grandma to Winnipeg or back to the Philippines, but she makes a stop off in like, I don't
Albuquerque.
know, Earth 4, right, from a DC comic, right? Like,
I don't have any relatives in Albuquerque, Jimmy, so she's never going there.
What about Earth 2 Albuquerque?
But like, it was like I forgot to mention that it's like a Stargate. So if you know it, have you seen Stargate? So it's like you have to have a Stargate at the location as well. Kind of similar to,
okay, all right.
so it'd be like just within our family.
Oh, okay.
Is that
fly?
Wait,
You're not sharing this with humanity? Wow,
No.
that's selfish. Fuck.
Just my family. Just my family.
And is that actually a teleporter or a wormhole?
Teleporter? I don't know. I don't know the science. I'm not a thing.
Wait,
I'm not a scientist.
wait. Was Stargate with the guy who played MacGyver?
Yeah, that was the series.
Sweet.
James Cameron was in the movie, the original movie. I like the Stargate movie, like the one from '90.
The series was actually pretty good too.
My stepdad, while he drinks Bacardi, watches Stargate, just in Winnipeg. But
Your dad's a huge James Spader fan, right?
Tell your stepdad if he wants to use the Stargate one time, to go to the Philippines, he's got access.
Yeah.
Send him my way. Send him my way.
That's trademark shit. I like.
Just bring some rum. Just tell him to bring some rum.
I liked Club 33 a lot because that's a special moment. That's a secret place. Nobody knows where that is in Disney too. Like it's like there's 2 entrances to the park that are all undergrounds that you never see. They're just employee entrances because they're so many employees they can't go through the entrance that so many people also want to go through.
Well, people don't want to see the peasants anyway. No one wants to see the help. Like, come on, you're on vacation.
I really was in the running for Jimmy because as much as I always lose the remote, I think those things are funny to do as pranks. Like they're so annoying until you came up with gender reveal. Gender reveal is a very big winning factor right now because I'm like, I hate that shit. I fucking hate that shit. I don't hate your child. I just hate the art of the spectacle. That's what I hate about it. And celebrating the pet thing, that's that also I'm like this is you're putting this emotion onto an animal that doesn't have an idea that it's actually like it doesn't know its birthday, you know.
So Michael,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to sway you back my way here. Now, you say you don't want to draw too much. Like, why draw all this attention to your animal? Now I could be mistaken, but don't you have an Instagram for your cat?
Oh fuck.
Oh, Satan, you are so devious.
Yeah, no, that was well shots fired. Yes, there is a
Jimmy Satan from Dragon Ball Z.
400 some odd faithful subscribers to Burgers when we loss or gain, however you look at it. So yeah, okay.
Follow for a burger.
All right, maybe I'm a hypocrite. Yeah, that sounds like I'm a hypocrite. Jimmy, you may have just won by calling me a hypocrite. No, yeah, I don't think. Yeah, like the sympathy card really had me. I like that too. I like using the sympathy card. That I never used that. I really appreciate the use of minimalistic abuse of powers. I know everybody else wants to just take it to an 11 here, but I think small changes make big gains. So just Disneyland instead of owning Disneyland. Those are good things. And well job on abuse of power. I don't have a wrong thing to say about it. I hate when you fucking do this, Jimmy. You're next.
No, Rob's next.
Oh, Rob.
Yeah, go
ahead.
I'm good.
Yeah, you.
All right. So first off, I just want to say, you got godlike powers. You gotta go to fucking 11. Hell, you go to 17 with this shit. Come on. But a couple things. So first off, I assumed the teleporter was gonna be more like the fly. And I was concerned that what would happen if you pushed your grandma into the teleporter, but there was a fly in there? Like, what would be the ramifications of that? I mean, you came back and said it was more like a Stargate, which I argue is not a teleporter. It's actually a wormhole. But, we'll agree to disagree on that, even though you're wrong. The other thing is, I mean, I agree. Gender reveal parties are fucking dumb. They just out of control. Like, yeah, exactly. Right. But I feel like, on the scheme of like annoying shit, I feel like people not signaling and bad grammar definitely trump those. And I really wish that you'd address those 2 issues. However, from the Lord of the Rings perspective, I did think that the cleverness of the far, far east, right? And the Eastwood thing is on motherfucking point. And that
was for you, Rob. I knew you were going to be on it today.
And it's funny because right before you were about to start talking, I was going to interject and go, I can't wait for the Lord of the Rings reference. And then the whole time there wasn't one. And then at the end, I was like, yes. But I was also surprised that there was nothing about lightsabers. That was disappointing.
I wanted one thing. That was the one thing.
I have to piggyback with Rob here too. Yeah, I did forget the Hobbit thing because I would love to see you breaking barriers on screen as a Hobbit. Like that would be a fun.
There's no Asians in the whole fucking series. Not a single one.
And that's like you telling me there's not an Asian Hobbit? Come on, fuck, it's a Hobbit. Like there's everybody's a fucking Hobbit in your fucking novel. But that I would use a wish. Like if I met Aladdin, I would use one of those wishes for you to be an Asian Hobbit. Like I would make that fucking happen. Like that'd be so fun. We'd all sit down around the fire.
That only leaves you one other wish for yourself because you have to give him the wish of releasing him from the genie lamp.
Oh no, I don't. That's just.
Mike's not Aladdin. Mike's not Aladdin.
Anyways, go on, Rob. If you have anything else.
That is all.
Oh,
no lifesavers. That is all.
I also dropped the Futurama quote for you, Rob.
I did like the Futurama thing. I went 6 to 12 almost.
6 to 3.
That's
I'll,
weird.
I'll settle for a chub. I'll settle for a chub.
There's something anatomically wrong if you're going 6'3".
I,
You need to go see a doctor about that.
6 to 11, then back to 3.
I like
6 to 11 would make sense, especially if you're a chronic masturbator, or 6 to 1, depending if you're left or right-handed. But anyway, I digress.
draw a picture of this. What do you think 6 to 3 looks like? Do you have a whiteboard anywhere, Rob?
I have a Post-its.
All right.
Let me draw a quick clock.
Before we vote here, let's see what 6 to 3 looks like in Rob's mind. Because I like how all of our minds came together and figured out a different perspective on this. This one's tough.
Wait, this is a reverse, so
Oh,
Mhm.
like.
you gotta hold.
Wait.
Show us the finished product.
Wait.
Oh dear God.
I gotta write backwards here. So
Here we go.
okay, and then that'll be like this, and then that'll be like this. Okay, does that actually look like a clock? Yes, I'm amazing. So
It does?
it'll go 6 to. It'll be like really weird. Like it'd be like this. I don't know. I don't like it.
And that's how far that went. All right, cool. All right, guys. I loved this. Is great. As Martin said, that like not abusing powers, Jimmy going dark, Rob going to 11. Right, like there's a lot of
17. Thank you very much.
off the charts in general. But I
Somebody had to.
I know. I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't want it to be me this week.
But I want to disclaim that all the statements that I made were for the sake of the argument.
Oh God, yes, we know that. That's
Except for the no pedos. Fuck that shit. Yeah.
That's understood. I think a revision of religion, it might be good. I mean, everything changes over time, so why not? Why hang on to, like, it just anything? And just to back your point up here, Rob. Anything that has been around for a very long time has changed at some point. We're not driving in hand crank vehicles anymore, right? Like industry.
It'd be cool if we did, though.
It'd be cool, and I'm
A
not.
lot less. People would have really, really developed forearms.
That grip strength could be out of control.
Ridiculous.
They'd be like Popeye style, like fucking gigantic.
I'm just saying, like I'll look at things every now and again to see if you're up to date. Might be a good thing. Religion's great. It's needed. I grew up religious, so like I have benefits, but not looking at a thing because you say tradition is more important.
I like spiritualism more than religion.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they go together, but that's just me.
exactly. That's the beauty of it, is that we can be
One man's opinion.
All right. Can we all not vote for Mike now?
Obviously.
All right. Let me get my chat.
All right. Are we writing? We're just putting it in the chat.
Putting it in the Zoom chat, just because I need to paraphrase not the other chat that one of us always forgets to. Oh shit, that chat. Okay, hang on here, man. Fuck. All right. Everybody got theirs in the chat? Yeah, we're good.
Oh yeah.
Somebody please just write not Mike.
All right, let me get the drum roll up here. I'm ready. Jamie's ready. Martin's ready. Rob's ready. Here we go.
Oh shit.
Oh wow. It's
Jimmy won.
Jimmy got it.
Clayton did it.
There's so many people I want to thank.
That's it. The being nice worked for Jimmy this week.
And you know what I'm going to say? I was fucking lying.
Well, you're Satan, obviously.
Oh,
I didn't want you guys to win. How did you fall for that, you idiots?
Well, I gave you a pity vote because your argument was so shitty. And it backfired on me. I should have voted for Mike.
Your Instagram comment didn't really have any bearing on it. I just wanted to give you I wanted to shake you in your boots a bit. But like, it was tough between Martin and you because I like that you picked some of the most annoying things that a person can experience and use them to cause ripple effect, like going from how I came into this with like, I'll be Kevin Feige. I think that
It's intern.
yeah. What was that, Jimmy? I didn't quite catch that. What am I?
Kevin Feige's intern.
Yes, I'm a fraud to this day, and I go, I'll be Kevin Feige.
You know what? You know what would be the ultimate thing that you would do, Jimmy, to him in that situation if he became the intern? Is you made it so that Kevin Feige only talked about DC the whole time.
And like how much he really likes Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern.
Yeah, like he's like, what? Like, you know, I'm trying to figure out a way to take that performance, but put it into the MCU.
That's the slow burn that is hell.
That would make me. Oh my god! I'd scratch my eyeballs out. I'm here to talk about Iron Man. Who's Iron Man? Fuck. That would be the worst.
But
Iron
the guy
Man
with the
played
shield?
by
He's
Joe
the guy with the
Pesci.
shield? Did he have a shield or something? Who was the guy with the cape? Who was the guy with the cape?
So Jimmy, does that make you? I mean, we all know that this doesn't matter shit, but does that make you feel good? Finally, like coming with this.
Look, I'm just excited to see. I mean, I imagine this is going to be at least 52-week winning streak, I would say.
Is this gonna get you like jazzed to the point where you're gonna sell more embalming fluid than anybody ever?
You know what? I'll you know what? It's frowned upon, but I think I might be whistling through the crematorium.
Is it honestly frowned upon to whistle in a place of such?
There's a sign that
You know, Mike?
whistling.
You know, Mike, you tend not to whistle when you're at a funeral home.
True.
I just didn't know that was not par for the course.
What if you're trying to pick up some ladies and you're a construction worker at the funeral home?
So they're built in this situation. They're building the funeral home.
Or maybe they were there for renovations.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
Reynolds. Reynolds to viewing room number 2.
Look, don't catcall women, but unless you're at a funeral home.
I'm not condoning that. I'm painting a picture.
If you're gonna catcall a woman, it has to be while at a funeral home.
Martin Reynolds on viewing room number 2 is the best title for an album.
That's Jimmy's comedy album title.
Reynolds
Two.
viewing room number 2. That
How
should
about-
honestly
How about a cat call in viewing room too?
calling that doesn't it's almost, but I don't know. But I was just gonna say, aren't you
And
allowed?
other crematorium whistle calls.
Yeah. But isn't whistling?
That's called the B-side. That's the B-side of that album.
Isn't whistling while you work part of like like okay, I understand how that now coming.
I mean, I guess in that Steamboat Willie kind of picturesque kind of scenario,
Willie.
instead of him like piloting the steamboat, he's working in a crematorium.
Somebody's dead, Michael.
And Steamboat Jimmy is there to do some renos.
This is really demented conversation.
You know what's fun though? They do let me dab.
Can you
No one can stop you from dabbing, Jimmy.
can you dab
No
right?
one can stop you.
I want to dab an episode now. Come on, do it. Do it. There we go. Perfect. I've got a palette of sound effects for your next one, so I'm going to send them to you.
Can you try to somehow turn your terrible dabbing into an NFT so that we can make a bunch of money?
That art is on fire.
I think it could be done. Yes.
You know what? You should turn your artwork on your walls into an NFT before you whitewash it. Like do the white over paint.
And you think that'll get us money?
I don't really understand how this NFT thing works 100%, but maybe
I don't know what an NFT is. I'm not hip to that. What is it?
non-fungible token or something. I think it stands for.
Martin, do you know what an NFT is?
Something internet.
Something internet, aka Subreddit Elon Musk.
No.
All right.
It is a
we're getting in the weeds.
it's a cryptocurrency for cats and dogs.
Did you just Google that?
That you can only spend at pet parties.
A gender reveal pet parties.
Oh God. Which one is she gonna have? 6 boys and 10 girls.
You know what my goal now, my life goal is now, is to make pet gender reveal parties a thing.
You might as well go full absurd.
Mhm.
Do it. There's money in it. People have money to spend.
Dude, I was in Arizona and I went to a cat cafe and they had a cat medium there.
Cat cafes are so gross.
Someone from Canada,
I'm
The
sorry, a
cat
what?
is
a
A
cat,
cat
They-
cafe.
They had a what?
cat.
cat medium.
So I went.
So hold on. Before I'm sorry. So this is a cat that is psychic?
No, or is it? Yeah, like was this a human that can talk to cats, or like can like, or is the cat? Is there an actual cat?
Is the cat able to talk to humans or is the cat able to talk to other dead cats?
Does the cat have a crystal ball?
So the cat medium is a lady who looks like a cat lady. All right. And she was at a 1-year anniversary event at a cat cafe in Arizona.
Did she say the lost bicycle was in the basement of the Alamo?
No. But when there was like,
Fluffy's lost litter box is in the basement of the Alamo.
they were looking
Anyway, sorry. Go on, Mike. Go on, Mike.
they were looking at like hiring a bunch of different people for different parts of the evening for entertainment or whatever. So there was a belly dancer, there was a musician, there was a magician type trick weird kind of guy, and then there was a cat medium. And she came out and she told everybody in the audience that she could talk to their dead cats, and that she would tell the humans what their dead cats were saying from the grave. Yeah, totally, Martin. Fucking raking in the money. And this lady from Toronto, I was like, oh my God, I'm in a room full of just people who fall for shit, right? Because there was probably 3 or 4 people there to see her. Anyways, she gets up, and a lady from Toronto flew from Canada to Arizona that week, knowing she would be there to talk to this lady about how her dead cat was doing. And we sat and watched it and ate free pizza.
Fuck, you can't let a sucker keep their money, man. Can't let a sucker keep that money.
See, the craziest thing, you guys, Mike was a non-believer until the cat medium told him about Burger, but it turns out that she actually just follows him on Instagram.
Yeah, it was pretty like she had a cat like crawling all over her while she was doing it. I was like, how is that helping you with concentration? Like, I feel if you're gonna take people's money, you should look as locked in as possible. Like, just give the appeal that you are fucking with us. But yes,
Do you think she like sprinkled catnip all over herself so the cat was like going all fucking crazy on her?
I don't. It was just. I mean, we went because I was like, hey, it's a cat cafe. That seems like fun. And like the cats, it was all fun until we couldn't play with the cats anymore and had to watch.
Michelle went to a cat cafe one time in Montreal, and she went there and it stunk like cat piss so bad she had to leave.
Yeah, that why would you put food in that place? That's so gross. That's too much.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the
like
belly
cat.
dancer. Like the belly dancer, like that's exercise. That's tiring. Like imagine how much cat hair and piss fume she's breathing in while she's belly dancing. Like
dude.
what the fuck?
It was a community thing. It was a community cat cafe. I mean, they were doing their best, but like it smelled like cat, and like it was one of those things that like it'd be like, I don't know, like Selker Cat Cafe having an event and then like 20 people show up, right? Like it'd be like community, but nonetheless, this woman was just stealing, and I don't know how much she was charging, but I saw like a big stack of money get exchanged. So, and she'd be like, "So, your cat's name was," and then like the person would be like, "Snowball," and then she'd be like, "Yeah," and Snowball likes to do like she'd like the leading question thing, like.
You know what though? I mean, the thing is though, is that it's providing like it's almost a service and a respect, right? Because these people are feeling the loss of this, and whether there's truth to it or not, it gives these people a little bit of joy for that moment, and it actually might help with the grieving process on some level.
You know what?
I mean, I'm sure there's a psychologist out there that'll disagree with my statement, but I see it on some level being a good thing. But again, if she's taking thousands of dollars from people, that's maybe not cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's if they can commune, people would. It's hard for them to let go because they think they're still around. And
True.
a lot of people who visit psychics and mediums don't go like most people don't one-stop shop. They keep going back because they still want to commute and commute and commute. So
Yeah.
Like if you can
Good
open
point.
a gateway and sell somebody on the fact that you're talking on their behalf. Yeah, Martin, that's definitely like three or four dips to the well with that. And
I
then
think we can all agree that Miss Cleo was real.
oh, the Miss Cleo soundboard was the best. Prank calls with Miss Cleo.
yeah, those were a good time. All right, gents. This has been a blast. I'm glad we got to close out the show with Crazy Cat Lady because that's a story I never thought I'd tell. You know what the worst part was that right across the street, actually, from the Cat Cafe, was one of those places where you can pay to break shit. So you put on like protective goggles and they give you a baseball bat and a hammer and a sledgehammer, and you just
That's fun.
room and get your stress out and break shit. Just constantly break shit for an hour. Like flat screen TV, here's a hammer, go to town.
I want to start that business.
I think it would do very well. I think in this climate when people need a release right now through COVID, if you had a place where you could go and break shit, and I mean, all you got to do is go to Value Village and, pay $30-$40 for a box of dishes and then sell that for $70 for an experience for an hour. And there you go. You're making $30 a fucking hour.
And it's upcycling, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's not costing money at the recycling depot. I don't know. Anyways, that was what was across from it. But, yeah, this is fucking great, gentlemen. Unfortunately, there's nothing to promote here. Martin, you have, I'm guessing, nothing there for comedy right now. Still, no.
Nope.
Drink Wolseley kombucha, everybody. It's Rob's lovely wife's kombucha, and it's delicious. So drink Wolseley kombucha if you're from Winnipeg, because we all do. Well, I do. Rob does. Shauna does. Martin's not here. Do you drink kombucha, Jimmy? You should drink kombucha.
I'm not much of a drinker, and but
Jimmy,
when
can
I
you
do,
spell kombucha.
CUM.
Nice.
Bucha.
Oh, shit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your first time. You probably heard me say it in the beginning of the episode. I'm saying it now again, just in case you forgot or skipped it. TheReelDebaters.ca. That is where you can see Rob, Jimmy, Martin, and myself's face. You can read some blogs we've posted. You can listen to the podcast. You can figure out where to subscribe. If you want to throw pocket change at us, and by pocket change, I mean like $2. We'll take that money, we'll put it back in the show, and we'll make this as much better, with better grammar as we possibly can. So all donations go back in production costs. And if you want to buy a skateboard, a t-shirt, a cell phone case, a sticker, many stickers, because who buys one sticker, pins, what have you, you can buy our merch there too. So thereeldebaters.ca is for everything. This week, I'm Michael Petro. Who was I originally playing earlier in the show, Martin?
Fuck, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I've just been Michael Petro. Jimmy, who have you been this week?
I have been Martin Manhunter.
Martin, who are you playing out in Vancouver?
I have been Wicket the Ewok.
Rob, who are you this week?
I am Clint Eastwood from the far, far east wood.
New character, good character.
And I'm officially the new Bruce Almighty. That's who I've been. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another show. See you when we see you, and watch all the movies.
Good stuff.